Right, this is going to be a look at one concept that the 49ers run on offense. You're going to see film from, I think, the 2021 playoffs and the 2022 regular season. The toss concept, historically, typically, when you think of it, is outside play, trying to get outside, trying to force the defense to run horizontal, maybe set them up for some other concepts. I love how the 49ers do this. This is going to be, I think, from the 49ers win in the 2021 or 2022 playoffs at Dallas. It's a short toss. I call it a wind back, meaning it's designed to come back to the left side of the screen. And when we say short toss, what we mean is you're not getting a real horizontal move by the tailback, which in this case is Deebo Samuel, with an obvious attempt to get the ball outside. You can also see that the fullback is kind of bringing this back on a J angle to kick out the backside D end, and that D end is being influenced by the tight end Kittles. In this case, Kittles is taking him outside, giving him a little bit of an outside release, trying to expand him, basically creating more space once the play develops between this D end and this D tackle. So I'll pause it here in a moment so you can see what I mean. Look at the wall that's been created by the 49ers offensive line here. The outside release by Kittles, took him to seal off this strong safety nickel defender in the 49ers 4-2-5 nickel front, and then the fullback, Juszczyk, whose name I can never say, Juszczyk, whatever. I'm just going to call him fullback. He's J-stepping it and then bringing it back to kick out that D end. Individually, could Kittles or the fullback handle this D end one-on-one? I suspect not, but they're giving him two people to deal with. They're giving him that D end two guys to deal with. You'll see a beautiful example of the wall that's been created here for the cutback lane, designed cutback. What I mean when I say wall is, these let me redraw that. These helmets here, the wall that's been created, forcing all of the Cowboys defenders on this side of that wall, and then really isolating that D end, and then the nickel defender, number 27, again, designed wind back, if you ask me. It's a short toss. For years as a linebacker, as a strong safety, someone in the box, you've been conditioned. Oh, toss is, a horizontal play. I got to get out of here. We're going to come back to this at the end of the video with number 55, the Mike linebacker, and see, why he's flying out of there so much and why he's pretty much forced to do so by the toss, by seeing the ball in the air, seeing the little brown leather football in the air, indicating toss to you, and how the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan really take advantage of that eye candy and then the physicality. They're playing a different game than a lot of other people in the NFL. I don't pretend that no one is doing the short toss wind back. Let's look at a couple of examples. This is from the same game, same drive, actually. Samuel is not in at tailback now. The fullback doesn't shuffle over. This is an actual toss. You're going to get the all 22 play, all 22 angle from here in a moment. So you'll notice there's no, he did motion pre-snap, come back to the fullback alignment, but on the previous play, you remember his feet were over in this area. The previous play, meaning the wind back toss that I showed you that Deebo Samuel caught. They don't want to pull the defense over in the intended direction where the point of attack is. There's no tight end over here. There's no on this particular play, there's no tight end over here. There's just a wide receiver. And look, it's a classic, pin by the wide receiver on the D end, or in this case, outside linebacker Micah Parsons. And then the fullback, again, your classic toss blocking scheme, getting out there on the corner. So you've created this seam between these two defenders, Micah Parsons and the corner. And then the left tackle, since Micah Parsons is being pinned down by the receiver, the left tackle is able to get up on, again, this nickel defender, number 27. Not picking on him, but just don't know who he is exactly. He's got to get out of here to stop this play. He's got to get at this angle here because the gap, the seam is being created between Parsons and the corner. Someone's got to get there. You can see he's losing this. Well, think about the two plays that I showed you in succession. The first one is a intended wind back by the tailback, Deebo Samuel, on the first play I initially showed you from the end zone angle. This one is an actual toss where he's following the fullback. Well, you could very easily say, well, hey, read the fullback, dude, and he's going to take you to the play. It's not so simple when you've got extremely well-trained offensive linemen getting out in your face. It requires, recognition that maybe a nickel strong safety defender just doesn't have. Same concept, toss crack from, I believe, 2022 regular season, late in the regular season, I think, between the 49ers And the Seahawks, a pin down crack again to the boundary. It's 21 personnel. Seahawks have got their base 3-4 on the field. Pay attention to the inside linebacker here, the Mike, and we're going to relate this hopefully at the end to number 55, Leighton Vander Esch for the Cowboys on the first couple of plays that I showed you. He's flying out of here. Well, it's an actual toss play. He's gone. And it still ends up being, I think, like a 5-yard gain, something like that. The 49ers, I think, are playing a different game than a lot of other teams in terms of how many yards they're willing to fight for. And then watch this play from the all-22 one more time. This is the linebacker that I'm talking about. They're going to pin down Uchenna Nwosu, one of my favorite, most underrated players in the NFL, if you ask me. And then the fullback is going to go get the corner. And if 57 isn't flying out of here, who makes this tackle? The D tackle is doing a great job of getting there, but if 57 hasn't defeated the block by the offensive lineman, who's there? I think you got Christian McCaffrey, one-on-one in space with this safety Diggs, who's lined up in the middle of the field. They're not pulling that safety into the boundary. They've already walked up a nickel or another safety, to the weak side, to the field, and Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are attacking to the boundary. I'd like to get out as many videos of these as I could, trying to show concept and plays before training camp starts. This is another actual toss play from the same game. They've walked the tight end over, they being the 49ers. Here's the tight end, and there's the fourth safety. I guess you call them the strong safety. Free safety again to the field, or lined up as a high safety, in between the hashes. It's going to be a toss to the field this time. Same actual concept in terms of a pin down by a tightly aligned wide receiver who's telling you with his eyes where he's going. Now, maybe on some other concepts that the 49ers do, he's also looking in there. But he's pinning the outside linebacker, D-end, whatever you want to call it. Juszczyk is going to get Tariq Woolen, who lays a shot onto him with his inside shoulder. And then watch what my man Tariq Woolen does here. I can't blame him. It's a leg whip. Yes, I don't believe you're supposed to make tackles with your legs in the NFL, but I love it. Get the man down by any means necessary. Look, pay attention to the inside linebacker who's flying out of here again, because it's tossed. That's where it threatens. You're trying to get out there to match the flow of the tailback and the fullback because they've both taken you in that direction. Tariq Woolen gets credit for the tackle with his leg. Now, bringing this back full circle, the toss crack. Check out Leighton Vander Esch on this windback. It's not that he's got himself out of position by doing something wrong. He's being put out of position by the concept, by the duality or multiplicity, I guess, if I'm using those words correctly, of having a toss play in your playbook and then having a toss windback play, which is what I would call this, a designed cutback. Now, clearly, yes, on the toss crack, the fullback takes you to the play. And on the toss windback, he jays back in the other direction and goes and gets the D end. You have a difficult time stopping this play, stopping both of these plays at the same time in any manner, and especially with the way that the Cowboys are lined up here, if you ask me, with a nickel safety in the box who doesn't press down when he gets an open window to press. Meaning downhill, off the backside of this wall of defenders. But, you have a helmet on, you can only see so much. And, of course, I've got the benefit of watching this play multiple times. So, again, I'm not picking on number 27, but it's a difficult concept to defend. And then they throw in another play out of the toss, short toss. Now, this is quite clearly a short toss, but you're a linebacker, you're a strong safety, you're defending it, you see the toss, and you only get a certain amount of time to try to react. One thing to point out, look, check out, Uchenna Nwosu, wrong arm in this. This is badass. He digs out the fullback with the wrong arm. McCaffrey reads it. The 49ers are trying to set up the same wall that we've talked about. Oh, by the way, I will talk about this linebacker being cut. If you didn't notice it already, he's the guy who makes the tackle, which is sick in and of itself. You get a great angle of Nwosu wrong-arming this and how he's trying to disrupt the blocking scheme because he ends up on the inside here, meaning he's on the inside of the play. McCaffrey's got to bounce it outside. This is a kick concept for me, not a toss play like the middle set of plays I showed you, the touchdown run against the Cowboys in the playoffs and two of the ones against the Seahawks in this same game. This one is designed, if you ask me, to be more similar to the windback, except the fullback isn't jaying back to the left-hand side of our screen. I was really happy when I saw the end zone angle of this play that it was the same behind the offense angle as the first one that Deebo Samuel ran against the Cowboys. All right, so pulling this back one more time. Let's talk about this inside linebacker here. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even know the guy's name, but it's a sick-ass play. He's getting cut down, ends up parallel to the ground, posts his hand on the ground. Christian McCaffrey and Wosu disrupts the whole damn thing. If you ask me, if he doesn't wrong arm this, I mean, look at the lane that McCaffrey has, somewhat similar to Deebo Samuel. When I say the 49ers are playing a different game, to me, I see them more akin to like the Tennessee Titans with Derrick Henry and the stretch stuff, even though the 49ers running backs aren't the same type of back as a big, hulking Derrick Henry. But my point is the offensive line, the way they're blocking stuff, creating those walls, essentially just a gap scheme, even though it's zone. Check out that inside linebacker move. I'm going to rewind it so you can see it again. 58. I'm not even sure he's a starter for them. Incredible play. When you watch as much film as I do, you're going to run across plays like this where you see amazing effort by Nwosu, McCaffrey, and then some random inside linebacker whose name I don't know. No disrespect given to him at all, but because it's an amazing play. I love trying to look at concepts, and when I find stuff like this, I try to bring it to you guys on the channel. And if you're interested, or you appreciate it, please let me know because I'll do more stuff like this in the future. It's a lot of fun for me to realize how NFL offensive coordinators are trying to attack defenses, and sometimes it takes me longer than others to recognize it. When I see the toss, when I was watching this game in particular, I saw two different versions of it by the Niners, the toss crack and then what I would call the toss kick. They're trying to kick out Nwosu and then, cut it up the field with McCaffrey, in my opinion, and Nwosu destroys the whole thing. When I saw that, I thought, okay, let me go back and look for some other examples of this. I fire up the Cowboys 49ers playoff game from 2021 playoffs, which I think actually took place in January of 2022. And I see that toss wineback as the first or second play. I was like, wow, this is great content for me, at least in my brain. I thought this could be great content for a video. Let me know if you think I got to the point of the 49ers having a quote toss play that's really three different variations of it. An actual toss play is the middle one I showed you, the toss crack, the touchdown against the Cowboys down in the red zone. The toss wineback, the first one I showed you, Deebo Samuel, which in and of itself is pretty amazing. On the very next play in that game, Deebo Samuel lines up at slot wide receiver and blocks a DN. Just kind of tells you about his versatility. A wide receiver who can line up at tailback and then block a D end on the next play. But in any case, then the third version, the toss kick that I just showed you, I thought it was worthy of a video. If you guys have any other ideas, play concepts, similar play concepts or variations that you can pick up on, please let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll try to go find them. Appreciate you guys' time. If you think other football fans might enjoy this video, please consider grabbing a link to it, sharing it out on social media somewhere to help my content get more reach.